Hi! I have not been on live for a while, and I figured, why the fuck not? Give me a chance to get on here. Bullshit. Oh my god. Focus. Get on here, bullshit with you guys. Chit chat, because it's been forever. Let's see. I don't know what'll show and what won't. Anyway, figured I'd jump on here, chit chat, show you guys some cool shit, and then also just kind of catch up. We haven't done that in a while. I do got cards here. I haven't really played with my cards online for a while. So it is an option if you want it, but I'm not pushing it today. Like I said, I'm here to chill, fucking relax, have my moments, and talk to y'all because the fuckery in life is immense. A lot. Enormous. It's words beyond my comprehension. There we go. But I figured I would jump on here because, like I said, I haven't been on here forever. Tomorrow, we have Guide to the Gods. So if you're in Ohio and you are checking this out and you got nothing to do on Saturday and you feel like stopping by in Middletown, Ohio, I will be at Rue's Realm. You can also find the event under The Devine Witch on Facebook as well. It's the new location. I went and seen it today. They were painting, setting up displays. I'm not sure if they're going to have products out tomorrow for people to actually buy, but it is pretty fucking exciting. Also, if you guys would, if one of you would be so kind, because I see two of you on there, message in the chat to kind of give me an idea of whether or not the chat's working because YouTube's changed a little bit. So I'm just trying to kind of figure out what's all going on. Like now there's an option between live chat and top comments. Like, I don't know. It's all new to me. You know what I mean? It's all Greek, right? As some would say. But I'm getting ready for that tomorrow. I have not got any of my information printed out, done. So I don't think I'm going to do any kind of printouts or posters. I'm going to bring some stuff that I have. I'm going to be bringing my bronze statue of Hades, along with a few items that I've had made for Hades and all that, and talk about it. If I can get access to a printer, I do want to print off tomorrow the Greek underworld map. Because, you know, some people, they get curious about, like, you know, how's the underworld structured, talking about the different rivers, talking about the different areas, things like that. So, you know, that's always fun. Also, I wanted to show you guys, check this out. This is one of my little bunny holders because I've been working with clay. It is a very Greek thing to do, to work with clay, and I've been wanting to work with clay for a while. And I have finally gotten to the point where I'm able to work with clay. These are just a few of the pieces that I have made. I haven't painted them yet because I'm waiting to get the kind of paint that I want to get. This is another one because someone in my own personal life, they messaged me and was like, hey, I've seen the things that you did with the crystals with the little bunny holders, but can you make one that would fit like a Tootsie Roll or something like that? So I'm like, fucking challenge accepted. So I went ahead and I made this one, which I'm going to show you what it looks like and then what you can also use it for as well. Hello, amazing me. Thank you, baby. If you look, it's like a little mushroom cap that he's holding. This one I actually added a tail on, if I can show it. I didn't on the other one for some reason, but it can hold things like little toothpicks or whatever. You can put a little crystal in there, a little crystal point, or a Tootsie Roll in her case, which I got to paint that and then lacquer it. None of these have been painted or lacquered yet, but actually I do need to look at that one. So I also, like I said, I need to get that stuff so I can actually seal these. But I started making these little clay puppets. And this one was made to bring in love and purify the house, bring in spirits. Actually, welcome love. And it's funny because as soon as I started talking about it, some stuff started moving, and it's fucking hilarious. And it's spirits are active. Anyway, so basically the basis of this is every year during Ostera or spring equinox, whatever you celebrate, you would take this and you would hide it. and whatever child or adult or whoever in your life finds it, then they get to hide it for the next year. And then the process continues on and on and on. So that's kind of what I've been working on. And I actually made another one because we had somebody who wanted one, and theirs is officially dry, but I have not been able to actually set the gloss over it so that way none of the stones come out and things like that. But yeah, also another thing that you can do with these, if you have like little crystal chips, put crystal chips in there and change it out through day to day, depending on what kind of energy you're wanting to bring in, especially if you're like me, squirrely as fuck. Ew. Take this little guy gently, and take this little guy gently, and put him back on over there. And whenever I make those little puppet things, I always put it on Hecate's altar. Because Hecate deals with doors, opening different gateways, crossroads, so she can bring in the energies that we're wanting to manifest within the home. And the reason I actually started making those, besides wanting to start a new tradition, is because I'm writing a book. That's kind of why you guys haven't seen me for a little bit, and I haven't been posting as much. It's about my own personal journey, and there's going to be a little bit something for everybody. So the premise of why I wanted to do it is I wanted to start sharing information. So my goal is to have it put out to where you can get it by December, but it may come earlier. Who knows? It depends where I'm at. Then I've got to get it edited. Plus, I'm getting in some pieces from others to share their traditions. So if sharing your traditions is something that you would like to do, you can actually email me and I can send you all the information. You get a spot, you get acknowledged in the book, and all that fun jazz. So I just kind of want to not only talk about my experiences as far as like rituals and spells you can do, but I want to talk about philosophical, right? I want to take the concepts that we know and expand upon them and also bring in the thought. Like when I was writing in the book about influence and how influence not only influence our spiritual path and where we go, but the influences that we get and the influences that we give and how they kind of all interact. And when I was doing that, I had so many people messaging me randomly out of the blue that I'm like, yeah, we're on to something. The gods are like, bitch, yes. So that's a big part of the beginning is talking about influence, spiritual foundations, working from the spiritual foundation. Because one thing that I found that most people, when they're writing a book on either paganism, witchcraft, occult, whatever, they never talk about the starting point of your spirituality. Because we all either come from a certain set of religious backgrounds that we expand on over time to where we get to where we're at now in our own spiritual guidance, but also how do we build upon those? Do we do a clean slate completely, or do we take the things that we valued from that path that we were once on, whether it was by choice or if it was because of family and whatever, and then build upon that? And then trying to figure out how do we create our own traditions. You know, when it comes to traditions and a pagan aspect, you know, you get your holidays, you get things like that, births, deaths, birthdays, things of that nature. But how do you make them individualized? And trying to make something that, yeah, it's part of a seasonal tradition or part of a birthing or a death tradition, but how am I making it part of my tradition that may vary? So those are the kind of concepts that I'm kind of going through. Excuse me. And also talking about the different things that I do. You're going to see a lot of symbolism in the book of three because I follow Hecate. So there's three different paths. There's always three different solutions in my eye or in my mind. So when I'm making my structured path of my own personal experiences, thoughts, feelings, things that I'm seeing, how to interact with certain spirits and things like that, I always try to think of it in a conception form of three. So you're going to see that symbolism of three a lot when I break down certain structures and things. So I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, right now I'm on tradition. But so far I've got the spiritual foundation, influences, talking about astrologically, like the different moon phases, different time periods, different cycles we go into our life, whether it's cycles of ourselves, it's cycles of our community, it's cycles of our environment, and cycles within the moon and astrologically. Because that's another thing that I notice that no one ever talks about when it comes to spirituality is we go through so many cycles in our lives. And sometimes those cycles are based on our environment. And sometimes those are cycles that we have that are a constant pattern. Like for me, since I have ADHD, there are certain cycles that will happen with me. I will go through hyperfixation moments and then I'll have down, or I'll have a really super low and I got to try to build myself up. I know these cycles of myself. So how can I take those cycles and figure out a way to integrate it into my spirituality that can get me through those tough times or bring in the energy that I want? So yeah, like there's a whole lot going on and I still got lots more to do and I'm trying to pace myself because I don't want it to seem like I'm rushing. So you guys will see that. My goal is to get enough funds from the book to start a system for the Divine Witch because I know I'm not going to be here forever. And I want to start something positive. I want to have, in the end, a place where all pagans in Ohio have a safe place that they can come. They can hold their events at. They don't have to feel like they have to have a lot of money to do it. They can hold group events. They can hold coven events. Somewhere where they can gather when the elements aren't great. If we could get enough land, maybe eventually we could do things like having a garden, do a community kind of garden cultivation kind of thing. But like I said, that's probably like 10, 15 years down the road. But I want to start building the stepping stones towards that because that's my ultimate goal. For when I'm not here, something that I've helped build up in our community can actually carry on and it doesn't become a thing that deals with ego. It doesn't become a thing that comes with money grabbing. It doesn't become a thing where you're blocked because you can't do this physically or spiritually you don't align. Like it's almost like the concept of dominational. Okay, my dominance is showing through. Like a multi-faith, but within a pagan spectrum. Because when you look at paganism as a whole, you got your house, you got your temples that you can have and things like that. But realistically, if you look around, especially here in Ohio, you're going to see a whole lot of churches because we're in the Bible Belt, right? So what I want to do is make it to where people, no matter what path you're on the pagan spectrum, you have a place where you can actually come, enjoy yourself, maybe be able to get away. If we have natural disasters or we have issues within a community that is facing like homeless or whatever, we can have a place where we can open our doors, not only to our community, but to the communities that we're a part of. So that's my goal. That's what I'm shooting for. I'm hoping we can be able to do it within, like I said, next 10, 15 years, because it does take time and we'll see where it goes. So now if we get back into my crafting session, I actually made a doorway for Hecate. Still got to paint it. But it does have the heart key, which for me, when I was making it, I wanted to make the actual doorknob a key, like almost like the symbolism, like you got to have the key to get in. But then I tried to do it and it wasn't turning out the way that I wanted it. And I was like, why not put it on the door and have it to be symbolism? Because I'm all about symbolism and the different things that we can do when it comes to symbolism and the meanings that they have. And for me, working with Hecate as much as I have and as long as I have, the one key thing that you're going to find with anybody that works with Hecate in general, or any god in general, for you to get access to that god and to manifest the things that you want with that god, you have to be willing to give yourself up to a certain extent. And with her, it almost feels like you've got to open your heart up to her, but you've also got to open your heart up to the truth. And that's when you're actually going to get the key to unlock the things that you're going to need. So for me, that was a whole symbolism thing. This isn't a piece that I'm selling. It was a personal piece. Eventually, I do got to get a holder for it because of the weight of this piece and what it is made out of. It's not going to be sturdy to stand on its own. But I really wanted to have that. So when I'm having those moments of like, hey, you're going through hardship, or hey, you're trying to figure something out, but yet you're not getting it. I can look at this piece and realize for me to get the answers I seek, I've got to open myself up to receive those answers and to give what I'm going through to her. So that's my whole thing. That's my whole spiel when it comes to the different things that I made. Now, I do got a story with another thing. See this? Looks weird, right? Looks like something out of Stranger Things or some kind of weird horror movie, but it is my rendition of what they call the wood rose. Now, the wood rose is a plant that it almost, I'm trying to think of the vegetable. It's shaped like this. It has the leaves that kind of go like that. You know what I mean? But it goes upward. I can't think of it to save the life of me. But it almost looks like that. But inside, it's all these little balls and seeds and things like that. But what it does is it's not like a normal plant. The plant itself actually connects to wood or a tree. So, like a tree that's living, that's thriving, that's taking in the sun, doing all it needs to do, it's connecting itself to that tree. So it doesn't hurt the tree, but it lives from the tree. It doesn't do photosynthesis like other plants. It basically is like a parasite for that tree. So as I started looking into it, because when I was making this, it wasn't making no sense. And I'm like, okay, what is this? What are you trying to show me, Hades? Because I do work with Hades as well. And I started looking it up because all I could hear was the lattice flower. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Never heard that saying. So when I started looking through it, I come across what is known as the Hades plant. There is another name for it. At this moment, I can't remember the name to save my life. But if you look up Hades plants or flowers or Hades flower, you'll come across what I was trying to show within this. That's going to go on his altar. And see how the symbolism between him and this. Because if we think about it, in life, we attach to others to be able to live, to thrive. Because if we're by ourselves, 9 times out of 10, people are not made to be isolated by themselves. There's been multiple experiments done. People are very tribal, very community type of people. So when we do find those types of people, we kind of latch on and they help build us up. They give us strength when we don't have the strength to live. They can help us expand and grow and become something more than what we are. And that's kind of the relationship between that flower and that tree that I see is even though it is taking from that tree to be able to help itself grow, there's always some kind of symbolism. Like when that dies completely, that plant, it is giving back nutrients to the tree in which it took. And when we look at the cycle of life and we look at how we communicate with each other, it is a very give and take kind of society that we live in. Whether or not we want to say, I don't want somebody taking from me, there's a difference between taking and not giving something back and helping build each other up because you got more strength in a certain area or able to uplift them than they can uplift themselves. So for me, that is very symbolic. And it's something that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow when we do the event as well. Because that's the thing. When it comes to my spirituality, it comes to paganism, I always say, you always learn something new. You don't know everything. And if you think you do, then, you got some learning to still do. And I try to learn something new every day when it comes to my path. I try to create things that represent the energy that I have to give to my gods, whether it be talking, whether it be crafting, whether it be doing readings for people, communicating with the dead for some, you know, there's always something that is connected within my daily life to the path that I walk. So it's kind of interesting and it's kind of fun just to see it and like the new information from it. And I haven't really had a moment to really sit down and deep dive deeper than that of like the different symbolism with him that it can become or, be placed. But it was a fun little thing to learn and then know that, hey, what I'm creating is actually something that is. May not look exact like it, but that's artist rendition versus reality, right? So now that I've said all of that and went on my little spill, how have you guys been doing? Have you been doing great? Have you been doing You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of changes happening. And realistically, it's scary some of the changes happening. But I think, for anything good to come about, a whole destruction of ideology and sometimes the environments we're around have to happen. You know, here in Ohio, there was a train derailment. That was a big thing that was going on for a while, and it's still having impacts. Um, you know, when it first happened, I live here in Middletown, and you know, I they said our water was great, but every time I was drinking water from the tap around here, it may just be because of reused chemicals that they're using, or it could have been from that. But I kept on getting real bad headaches, so I stopped drinking our local water as much as possible, drinking bottled. But like it's hard to see people suffering, especially when it's in your own communities. Like they're 4 hours away from me, but that still fucking sucked that I couldn't do anything. And that's kind of what's pushed me a little bit with wanting to have a space that we can gather, we can be able to get resources, we can be able to offer helping hands. Because if you look at how spirituality is within our communities, every community that has a spiritual path or a place of worship, whatever it may be, they do certain things not only for the local community but for the state. And I want that representation to be put out there because we have certain forms of representation, but not to the point to where it's recognized by more than just one. You know what I mean? Because it's hard. And it's hard to, break that blockage that we got in our mind, whether it be from religious trauma, whether it be for ideology of what we think, a witch is. Like, don't get me wrong, being in the woods, having woodland areas to be able to go to is great when you can get the resources for it. But realistically, a lot of us live in cities. I remember when I lived in an apartment, I couldn't do half the shit that I do now. And even living in the house I do, because I don't have that much land, I still can't do half the stuff that I would like to do. When it comes to the ideology of certain things, we were like, oh, we got to get a bunch of land and we got to do this and that. But realistically, the start and the beginning of it is having places that are within the cities that you can go, that anybody can access easily. And then showing how it can be done, the ups, the downs, the ifs, the ands, and everything in between. And it's going to be a journey. So that's pretty much where I'm at. Yeah, life. I've had a lot of things to talk about, but I haven't had the structure or the mental fortitude to put it into a video. So that's kind of like, hey, you guys didn't get videos for a while, and also I'm still alive. But yeah, and it's just like when it comes to like access of information, like there is different paths of information that people can take. But it's hard also, like I've looked over the years of like the conversations we keep with each other, the attitudes in which we keep, the minor aggressions and the major aggressions that come out. And like I've looked at like when I first started, you kind of get that. It's not being an asshole, but you get that in your mind of like, this is how I want it, this is how it's going to go. And then you got to grow from that. And I feel like the only way that that's possible is for everybody to want to grow at the same time, and it doesn't happen that way. And there's a lot of new things that are going to end up happening at the Devine Witch, and the process in which we do things and how I conduct myself and how I speak, because words do have power. And sometimes even I forget the power of words and the power of the structure in which they have. So that's another thing that I've kind of been thinking about, over the last couple months. Like I tried to overdo a lot of things because I've got so much I want to do and I want to say. And, when you have insomnia, it's hard at times to be able to convey everything in one day. Or you get an idea and you want to expand on it and you want to make it this perfect ideology in your mind, or perfect vision, better than ideology, perfect vision in your mind, and it doesn't always come to be. It doesn't always happen the way that you want. And basically, I'm not reinventing myself, but I'm rediscovering myself. What parts have I discarded that I didn't want and still kind of need? And the parts of me that I'm like, why is this creating a reaction in me? So that's kind of where I've been at. Hello, the Wandering Spirit. How are you? Talking about everything from life and stuff going on right now, and just trying to get it all out. And I've got some free time today, and I've got our first event of the year coming up tomorrow. So it's kind of one of those moments where you're like you guys are an extended part of my community, my family, you know what I mean? Like some of you I may not see all the time, or I may see occasionally, or you'll message me or email me. But like I feel like I have to update you guys, you know what I mean? Like, hey, a bitch is still alive. This is what I'm doing. This is what I've been thinking. How are you? I do feel like I've been suppressed a little bit by YouTube because it isn't showing my notifications as much, which it is what it is. You can't beat the algorithm. And I don't really add a whole bunch of tags to things, because when you start adding like a crap ton of tags, you start getting things that are more negative than you want. And I'd rather have a small group of people than a huge group of people and dealing with negative energy all directed. So that's my kind of thing. So how have you been doing, Wandering Spirit? Anything new happening in your glorious life? Life, not life. But today I did get jars. These. I had these a while back when I was doing with Crystal Turtle. But since I'm messing with clay, I want to do really cool little vials. And I've also got these other ones as well, which I don't got them on me right now. But they're like the hexagon jars. I want to add little spooky stuff to them. So after tomorrow's event, I'm going to be working on these. And also I've got some paint and clear coats I got, so I'm going to be working on that too. Just so I can paint and things like that. Is that coffee?
No, you want a cup of coffee?
Yes, I do. I seen him with a coffee cup and I'm like, ooh, coffee. If you ever want to make me happy, coffee. Coffee is like the life. You know, it's really weird. My eyes look super, super blue today. I don't know if it's just because I'm in my emotions or I'm like in the zone, you know? Yeah, I was really excited. Like, I don't know if I can show you guys. Give me a second. I'm going to try to show you what the shop looked like. Like, this is a shop. I've literally watched them. This will be their third transition, right? And I feel like it's going to be the last final good spot for them because, one, it's in a beautiful location, right by a coffee shop, which, bitch, you got me when you're right by a coffee shop.
Right.
And so I'm going to try to show you guys some of these photos. But here's one of the painting process. This is some of their bookshelves and stuff. Here's another part. This is one of the side walls. And they're doing purple and they're going to be doing gray because that's their colors that represent their shop. And then we also got this right here as well. Like, it's big. It's a big space. And the best thing about it, bitch, check this out, right? So they got a basement. And it's not like, oh, it's a little basement, cute moment. No, bitch. This bitch has a bank vault in it. Like, bank vault. I am so excited. I didn't look at it today because I want all my excitement to like revive me after the event. Because if you're like me and you go to certain events, it sucks the life out of you. I want to be able to go down there and be like, oh, lock me in. Let me out. Lock me in. I'm weird. Okay.
They're already saying there's a scary end.
Yeah, and they're saying like, ooh, there's spirits. And I'm like, I'm the one. I want to fuck around and find out. And plus, like, they're gonna end up having a little ritual space down there. So you can do rituals as well, which I'm super fucking excited about. We're gonna be doing our monthly gatherings there. We're gonna have a space for fucking Yule. I'm so excited. Like, the little witch in me is like, yes. Like, watching someone go through a process, like, that's why I like supporting small shops and things like that. Because, and crafters, I'll put that out there too. Because I get to watch their fucking journey, right? And like, I remember when we first started the Devine Witch, she was at this one location, and realistically, the traffic in that location, like it was there, but it wasn't what you expected, right? Then the last location before this one, like there was heating issues, flooding issues, like it was just one thing after fucking another, and they couldn't get a break. And then like going into this space and the vibration from the last two to this one, it's totally fucking different. And I even told her today, I'm like, girl, I'm so excited for you. Like, I'm hugging and I'm not a hugger. I'm like, if it's going to be so great. So, like, kudos to her and the new transition. Like, bitch, I can't fucking wait. Like, downtown area where she's at, they do different events throughout the summer, winter months, and fall. Like, she's going to fucking be, like, over the moon from the traffic she's going to get. Ooh, I love you.
Yep.
But that coffee does not have enough sugar.
Okay, I got you.
And normally I don't like a whole lot of sugar in my
I
coffee,
didn't put much in.
but that was like bean water.
Bean.
That was bean water that went pow. Hi. Hello, Sabrina. How are you, my dear? Hopefully you're doing good. Have you ever gotten to the point where you're so old that you got a magnifying glass because your vision isn't too bad to get glasses? But, you know, companies, for example, I'm not going to show the company, but then you get like little descriptions like this, and like for something, you know what I mean? And you're like, this is fucking bullshit. So you're over here like, you know what I mean? Like private eye, like I can't see no
I
more.
thought you were trying to make fun of me.
Oh, yeah, he does it too, but he does it for normal reading. I do it for when this print is so small, like, you know, it's like a Hollywood contract. That is so much better. Thank you.
Well,
Hey, will you put my little pot up when you get a chance?
what do you need up?
My little wood
Yeah.
rose,
Yeah.
as they call it. It's a nickname for it.
I got you.
Oh, man. And okay, so here's another thing that I've been doing. This is kind of why I haven't been here for a while. So, as you guys know, Witch in the Woods is our biggest event, which I'm super fucking excited for, because there's one thing nobody knows about yet, and I can't fucking wait for it to happen. But literally, I've got all the vendors. We are accepting one more vendor. So, somebody's in the Ohio area, and you want to vend at a witchy event, contact your girl at thedevinewitch@gmail.com. But that's beside the point. So, we got great vendors this year. We've got a couple presentations. I'm going to be doing one. And there is going to be one on heathenry. Even though the event really isn't geared towards heathenry, we still want to represent other groups as well, because that's what we've been known to do. We're an eclectic group. We bring people together to give them a home when, you know, they need community. That's what we're about. So we're going to have some of that. There is someone doing an information booth, I think, on Celtic paganism. I've got 3, not 1, not 2, 3 motherfucking Greek rituals that will be happening at Witch in the Woods this year, which I'm super excited. 2 of which I'm performing, and 1 which is being performed by another pagan in the area who is Greeky. It's like geeky, but Greek. So that'll be fun. We've got some wonderful workshops that we're going to have. We're going to have there's like a bath ritual where you have different herbs and stuff that you can mix together, creating your own bath ritual. We've got altar stones. We got wand making that we've got Kali dancing, which I don't know if she's found anybody, because guess what? Here's the secret. And y'all didn't hear this from me, but one of our Divine Witch peeps is Prego, and I'm living for it because she's been wanting a kid for a while. They've been doing the hanky panky, and of course it happens during spring, so thank the gods, right? So she's going to be pregnant, so we're trying to find someone who can dance for her, because at that point she's going to be 6 months in. Cross the fingers, because there's a couple pregnant people in our group, and I'm hoping they don't pop, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Like, I've been a witch bitch for a while, but I don't give birth to babies. Like, that would be an experience. Could you imagine? Oh my God. Like, at Witch in the Woods, we've had a lot of crazy things happen before. Like, we've had people, get engaged and things like that, but never to this kind of like, I can't wait. Plus, we got a photographer that's going to be going around like they did last year, taking photos. I'm going to be working on my camera and playing with it a little bit more in the next couple months because it's possessed. And here's what I mean by that. Like, we did one ritual. If you go back and you look last year, it was for Beltane. And it was a new spot in which we did Beltane. And you can watch slowly the camera go like this and change angles. Well, guess what? Nobody was fucking doing it. We were all in fucking circle. So, yay. Then, when we tried to record for Witch in the Woods last year for the heathen ritual, guess what? It'll record it. You can watch it on the video, but you go to upload it? Fuck no. It ain't happening. So that was kind of like, okay, fuck me. So I don't know if it's just my camera being possessed, the spirits being too overwhelming for my electronical goods. So I'm going to try to see if I can get another person as well who doesn't mind being off in the sidelines and getting really good shots of our rituals and stuff, because that would be kind of cool. But fingers crossed. Plus, we've got 2 performers, music performers around here, which I'm super excited for everybody to meet, because first off, they both sound great. And they're 2 different styles, right? Like, one day I'll have to play some of their music on here so you guys can hear it. I would do it today, but like realistically, I've got a lot of energy going on. You add music to the mix and I'm going to flatline. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm kind of been at. I've been answering emails, sending out information, getting PDFs ready, which starting this coming up week, I'm going to be getting the PDFs ready for our vendors, our workshop people, so they know what they have and what they need and yada, yada. But with that being said, I think I need to actually, are you ready to go or are you just?
I'm going to here. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were stalking around or what you were doing. But with that being said, I'm going to jump off here because I'm going to join him and go fuck around in town for a little bit and have a really good end of my night because I got to get up early in the morning. And you guys know me, I got insomnia. So, like, realistically, I'll probably go to bed at like 4, wake up at like 8, 9, and then be like, I fucking hate my life. Give me coffee. So, with that being said, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and my little ramblings and rants and information. I did no readings, but I was prepared to. So, just check us occasionally. YouTube's crazy. And until next time, bye, guys.